to normal.
Okay. Did she erase the thing?
On her hand?
Yeah.
Do you want to look at her hand?
Not her tramp
I mean,
stamp.
you said I
He
would
said
know
he'd
unless it
know.
was magic.
Oh yeah, she hasn't erased it.
Okay. Then no, I don't need to look like a creep and look at her hand.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's something you do.
It's
That's
fine.
All right.
Right. So, when we get to the part of the meeting where new stuff is brought up, Rio would like to rise and say, I would like to bring up a point that came up during the last meeting and we put off till for further consideration.
Get closer to your mic, Tomasa says.
Tomasa, thank you. That may actually have just been me mumbling, by the way.
Nope.
It still sounds shitty to me.
Yep.
What? Oh, how's that?
No.
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
Still suck?
Yes.
It's okay. Just turn the volume up at this point, Jess. I think this is as good as it's gonna get.
I'll turn up my volume.
Same.
It might be Skype at this point, let me check. Yeah, Skype's auto adjust was set really high. Is it okay?
Now it's better.
Yeah, you're good.
Alright. That was weird. Very, very weird. Very, very weird.
Alright. So what was Rio going to bring up?
Rio will bring up and remind everyone about not the freak out part, but the genuine point that Mai had last time.
Which was?
You go over it again for the benefit of the people who don't remember. But Mai suggested that with the advent of things like the Maw and other effects on the city, that, well, there are naturally going to be effects on the student body, and the student councils should serve as more of a guiding, aspiratorial role to the students to make sure they stay out of trouble. And, well, we're all not dumb here. We know that one of our kind was involved in the, air quotes, sewage spill. It's not good to think that any of our students could follow that route, or the route of chaos that is in that one area of town. And that he's now throwing his support behind the initial idea.
Right. Well, it is a concern, but one of the principles of this school is that we believe in the liberty that people have to make choices for themselves when it comes to these matters. We disbanded the course quite a while ago for a more subtle technique. We hope that by giving a sense of normality, that we'd be able to avoid such extremities. But we could step up our refold of the course. There is the course still going in the old part of the school. We could increase. We could use that area of the school more effectively. I agree. But in terms of making hardline statements about morality, is where things can go very wrong due to the nature of personas as a whole. If you understand what I mean, Tomasa will say.
Right, yes. Rio will say, of course, I don't mean to expound any moral judgments on them, but of course there is the fact that while students here, people must remain and follow the rules, or else we have no semblance of a society at all. I simply wish to say that it should be up to us and any other preeminent students of this school to set the proper example. After all, we can of course be sure that some students have fallen into the temptation, no? And of
Well,
course
that
I
is
have complete confidence in the school's ability to reform them in the correct way, in the correct measures. I just think that it would give us, and in a certain sense some students, a more opaque way to look at it, to see that something is actually being done.
right, right. Perhaps, perhaps we could make a allowance for these things to be more openly discussed during Saturday classes and more into the general classes that happen on the Friday, rather than a full introduction. Perhaps we could spot those who are struggling and be able to refer them to a more involved program. But across the board, I don't think that would be too invasive.
Yawn. I would appreciate some motion like that being considered. Ario will sit back down, having made his presentation.
Right. And I guess Emmy would suggest that we reintroduce the idea of each class having a student representative that's independent of the student council.
Oh. Yeah.
For each classroom. 2 student representatives, one that can follow the other in case they find difficulty. And then the Mirai Lifestyle department can take care of that until look towards Iger and Jory. And Iger will be like, I mean, I can do the talking to people. It beats paperwork. And they say like, yes, that is one way they can see on how their fellow students are doing rather than an unfamiliar force who got barging into classrooms. That and the diligence of our tutors, of course, means that we can certainly make Friday and Saturday classes a lot more tailored than they currently are.
Beard just sweats a little inside, but nods and shows his approval to the plan.
Right. Then Chiba will say that she'll update the school website and send out a school-wide message on the PDAs then of the agreed changes.
Yay. Yay.
And that people have until the Friday to submit their candidates for student representatives.
Yay, bureaucracy.
And if they are on a course, or they can take their work as student representative and add additional credits to a subject that is similar in its nature. So there is an incentive as well. So like psychology, business, that kind of shit.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of what else. Oh yeah. After the meeting is done, so like if something else is gonna happen, we'll do that first. But Rio was gonna relay the message that Aki said hi back.
Alright, so I will just put her arm around Rio and be like, sweet, you did do it. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
So you're totally gonna like do it so that like, Aki's the representative, right?
So that she is the representative?
Yeah. I mean, she seems like a cool girl. I mean, we've hung out a bit. I trust her. Don't you trust her?
Well, naturally, it's not up to me to decide. I'll let the class vote on it.
I mean, it's less paperwork, you know. Just choose the 2 most suitable people and you can be done and dusted and then you can work on something else.
Right, the 2 most suitable people.
Hmm? You're stuttering there, buddy.
Nothing.
Well, take it from me that we work very well together and she could really use the help in her credits.
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Shin, the chair is empty. There's there meant to be another gun?
Well, Class 1A has a limited pool of people to choose from, so...
I mean, shit, there's 7 more people in there apart from you.
Yes, well, it's more limited.
Shouldn't it be easy then? Shit, you only have to... I mean, you all stay in the same dorm together. Easy peasy. Aki will be fine.
Well, I can't deny that compared to some other people, yes, she's more near the top of the list, but I won't let nepotism, or whatever the term that is used for friendship, sway me.
Nah, man. It's my personal recommendation. Do you really think I'd choose somebody who is shit at their job?
Well, I suppose not. If I said yes, that'd be me showing that I have no faith in you as a fellow council member.
Exactly.
Right, well... Good work this week.
Yeah. Everything went to plan and all, and, well, there's been no oopsies. Well, I mean, there's been no noticeable oopsies.
No noticeable oopsies? Yes, no. Very few things managed to make it to the rumor mill this week.
But there is something I'm kind of following up, though. I was wondering if you could help me.
Oh, may help you? Why, of course I'll extend my help to anyone who asks, but why would I be qualified for this?
Well, you kind of have the same smell.
The same smell?
Think of it as a quirk of mine. But I'm looking for somebody, and well, you might know them. I mean, you might have just brushed them down the street. I mean, it's kind of unreliable. I mean, it's all over your hands.
All over my hands?
You know, when you touch something and you can't really get it off?
Yes, I suppose.
I mean, I don't know what you do in your spare time and all. Like, no, I don't really ask about people's personal mythological lives unless it's a problem to the school and all. But, well, I was just wondering if you've met anybody lately who's tried to sell you something.
Tried to sell me something?
Or maybe, like you just say, you just brushed against it, unfortunately.
Well, I have to say that I haven't come against anyone at the moment who's tried to sell me something.
So, you wouldn't lie to me, would you, buddy?
Well, of course I wouldn't lie, especially if we're speaking in confidence like this.
Right. It's something that's unrelated to the school. At least I want to make it be anyway. It's something more personal.
Ah, I see. Personal matters, then.
Right. And I figured before I'd go and do the look-in, I might as well follow at least the only clue I have.
Uriel does that thing where he claps his closed fist against his palm in that Ah, now I figured it out, kind of pose. Ah, alright, then I see. That explains this. You had a clue? Alright, I was wondering why you suddenly decided you wanted to speak to me.
I mean, hey, I mean, every time like we've been in the student council rooms, usually like you just usually just do your stuff and then you bing bang boom and then you walk out again. I mean, shit, the only other person that you ever have an interest in is Chiba.
Yes, well, it's more efficient that way, and of course I have studying to do and other matters.
Right. I mean, if you want to hang out, sure, but I mean, I mean, the way it works is that we kind of look out, like the female empowerment kind of thing. But I mean, if it's just hanging out and stuff, we can do that. But anyway, I don't. I get that we kind of have the different tastes and stuff. But anyway, you touch anything crystally lately?
Crystally lately?
Hmm.
Well,
Like
she's being often blunt.
did you go into a domain and some creepy guy tried to sell you stuff, or maybe you just found it on the floor somewhere and you picked it up a bit and you thought, I mean, I think they're worth a pretty penny, but I'm just wondering how you came into contact with it.
Ah, right. Oh, okay, I see. You're speaking about those crystal things, the ones that are used for empowerment in those deals and enchantments.
Yes, they're quite valuable. The way you get them is quite distasteful. Wouldn't you agree? They were from the smell. It was quite fresh.
Mm, mm. Oh, I see. Uh, well now. Well, like, Rio will say, creepy guy in a domain, creepy guy in a domain. Well, I have to admit I've been curious about crystals for a while, because though I wouldn't want to acquire one, if one already exists and is on the market, it would be it would be quite impractical not to at least see about them. So I was inquiring. I wish to get something useful made, and as long as I don't personally see that someone has been recently harmed by it, I mean, I know someone would have been harmed by it in the past, but it's distasteful, but it's a distaste that I have been trying to get my head around. Yes, I have inquired about them, and I was shown a few recently.
I suppose you probably wouldn't have known, since you probably would have scrubbed your hands with the powder if you did. Oh well. I mean, I figured you wouldn't be that kind of guy who would, like, I don't know, like go into some abandoned warehouse and butcher people for your own game. That doesn't really seem like you.
No, I wouldn't do that, nor would I condone that type of action.
Right, right. So some guy tried to sell it to you.
It was more of a meeting in Jeffrey on neutral grounds so that I could see what a low-value crystal is like.
Right, right. You got a name of this guy?
Name of this guy. See, up till now, Rio hasn't been blatantly lying.
Did it, dude? Kappa.
You didn't. You totally skirted the issue.
You're fucking lying.
Well, there's two ways I can answer this. I can either lie to her or not.
Don't be a
Wow.
disappointment. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it really does. Ario would say, just to stall a bit longer, I'm sure that their name would be of interest to you, then?
Oh, it would be. Hmm. Hmm. Well, since we're both on the student council, you kind of know that the sewage thing is a bunch of bullshit, don't you?
Of course. Well, the word on the street is that some kind of domain or something opened up and a bunch of shadows or demons got out from the
Right,
factory after it was attacked or something.
right. It was quite the that the whole ripping apart thing kind of hurt a bit, but not as much as those people who hurt him.
Ah, right.
So yeah, you got a name, buddy?
Zaria will think for a moment and then go, yes, I have a name.
Mm?
Yes, I have a name of the person who showed me crystals. They're an acquaintance of mine.
Mm. You gonna tell me?
Let's see, do I tell you or not? Well, certainly the moral thing to do is to tell you. Although honestly, like we said in the meeting just now, I don't really believe that this person... No, they're definitely misguided and gone off too far, but I don't think that they are. I don't want to throw them off the deep end.
So
I have...
she'll just kind of screw her eyebrows and says, "So you know this person personally, then?"
Yes, I do.
I see. Well, says maybe I judged you wrongly. Then I thought, and she'll just kind of back away from you. Tell me the name.
The person who showed me crystals is my classmate. Of course I know them personally. I've known them since the beginning of this. And if you have abilities like you say, there's no doubt you're going to find out eventually. It's Mr. Takanaka from my class.
I see. Well, and she'll just kind of throw you like a packet. Says, you might want to rub your hands with that. You know, we wouldn't want any vigilantes trying to find out who did it and then mistaking you.
Right. And he'll look over the powder.
You just rub it in, it should dissolve.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And Agata says, I'm not going to do anything that would get me expelled from the school. He'll come back in one piece.
Well, you want to be a part of a plot line.
Yep, I'm loving this.
Irio will just look at her with, he'll just look at her coldly and say, as I said, they're an associate of mine. They've been in my class since this whole beginning, and we've worked together before. You could say that we're allies, but... well, those crystals were quite unsettling.
Says,
Still,
say,
I'm not going to say that if you do something to him, I'm going to step up and defend him. After all, he definitely went out of line if he's actually the cause of it. No, he got those things in some way. I definitely can't approve of that. So...
do you want to know how?
No, I don't want to know how. I have my guess already based on how the particular nature of them were.
So, I'll tell you this. It's just me, by myself. I'm not going to tell Aki or Joey or Masoka. Just one-on-one, we'll have a bit of a chat. You know? How it's not nice to do those kind of things, especially in your own backyard. But don't worry, he'll be back in one piece, and, well, I personally haven't taken the deal myself, but I know somebody who can just take you right out of him, in a way.
Most interesting. Well, I'm glad to know that everything happens for a reason, and we don't just live in a world of chaos. Now that I know why you spoke to me, I'm glad I could tell you. After all, I think he could benefit from one of these schools' rehabilitation programs, and if you could talk some sense into him, I would greatly appreciate that.
I won't spill the beans. I won't tell you that you told me. It's up to you whether you tell him or not. But thank you. I appreciate your honesty.
In this matter, I can't condone what he did, but I had no way to know how far he was going to go, and I had no way to know that he needed to be stopped from that. Although I still do believe that he has qualities that make him useful.
Well, I'll tell you this, but if I go missing somehow, you'll know what happened to me. I don't really wish to bring this up to the school authorities. Like I said, it's personal.
I see. Well, in that regard, I'll only give one warning. I'm not going to defend him in this regard. In any others, maybe, but if I get wind of any activities the school wouldn't approve of, I will have to make a report, so be secretive about it.
Like I said, One Piece.
Well then. It's nice to know the reason for all this. And Rio's just gonna mumble to himself. So many people telling me if they go missing, I'll know why recently.
Right, and she'll just kind of slap him on the back and wave a friendly goodbye and kind of walk off.
Rio's just gonna kind of mutter to himself. Well, at least now I know what she's about. And walk away.
Right.
Sorry, but I'll be
So
dropping.
I guess that's everybody's like evening.